The stars outside the ship window looked like tiny dots of cold light. Dae-sung adjusted his holographic camouflage for the 100th time, checking every single detail. His mission was simple: learn about humans. Simple, but not easy. The Krell Confederacy had spent years gathering information about Earth. Rumors, whispers, and scattered data points painted humans as a primitive species: violent, unpredictable, weak. Dae-sung's job was to confirm these reports and find the planet's weak points. His spacecraft, no bigger than a small car, landed silently in a cornfield outside a small town in the American Midwest. The holographic system projected the image of a young human male, tall, slim, with dark hair and eyes that looked slightly out of place. Technology was amazing like that. Dae-sung knew everything about human culture from his training. He understood their languages, their social norms, their strange habits. He could recite human history, discuss their complex political systems, and mimic their body language. But knowing and experiencing were two different things. The cornfield was quiet. Golden stalks swayed in the gentle wind. In the distance, a small town sat nestled between rolling hills and endless farmland. Perfect for observation. Perfect for a spy. His communication device buzzed softly, a message from the Krell Command Center. Greater than mission OGECTIV. Greater than assess human civilization. Greater than identify potential weaknesses. Greater than prepare preliminary invasion strategy. Greater than avoid direct contact. Dae-sung understood the risks. One wrong move could expose his entire mission. The Krell Confederacy had strict rules. No emotional attachment. No personal interactions. Just cold, hard data. He activated his advanced scanning equipment. Microscopic sensors spread out across the landscape, collecting information about atmospheric conditions, technological infrastructure, and population density. Each piece of data would be analyzed, cataloged, and sent back to his home planet. The town looked peaceful. Small houses with neat gardens, old pickup trucks, people walking on sidewalks, children playing in a nearby park. Nothing suggested the complex civilization hidden beneath this simple exterior. Dae-sung knew humans were capable of surprising things. Their history was full of unexpected turns, wars, inventions, sudden technological leaps. The Krell researchers believed humans were dangerous precisely because they were unpredictable. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in orange and purple, Dae-sung prepared to move into the town. His first goal was to find a place to stay, to blend in, to observe. He had studied human social structures extensively. How hard could it be to pretend to be one of them? Little did he know, his carefully planned mission was about to take a turn he could never have predicted. The universe had its own plans, and they rarely matched what any spy might expect. With a deep breath, Dae-sung adjusted his human disguise one last time and walked towards the small town, ready to begin his mission of gathering information about the most complex species in the known galaxy. His first step would change everything. The town was smaller than Dae-sung expected. Narrow streets, old buildings, quiet corners. Everything looked different from what his research had shown. He walked carefully, trying to look like a normal human. But something was wrong. The map in his device didn't match the actual streets. The GPS was confused by old buildings and weird road patterns. Dae-sung realized he was lost. The sun was going down. Cold wind blew between the buildings. He needed help but didn't want to attract attention. Humans could be unpredictable. His training warned him about direct contact. A small bakery stood on the corner. Warm light came from its windows. An old woman was sweeping the sidewalk outside. She looked up and saw Dae-sung standing there, looking confused and a bit scared. "Are you okay?" she asked. Her voice was soft, kind, not like the aggressive humans in his training videos. Dae-sung's communication translator worked perfectly, but for a moment, he forgot how to speak. I'm lost," he managed to say. The woman looked at him closely. Her eyes were sharp but warm. She wore a simple apron with flour marks. Silver hair was pulled back in a neat bun. She reminded Dae-sung of the caretaker images from his cultural training. "Come inside," she said. "It's getting cold." Dae-sung knew he shouldn't follow her. Direct contact was against his mission rules, but something made him walk forward. Maybe it was the smell of fresh bread. Maybe it was the kindness in her voice. The bakery was warm, shelves full of bread, cakes in the display. The smell of sugar and flour filled the air. An old radio played soft music in the background. It was nothing like the sterile research centers of his home planet. "I'm Hannah," the old woman said. "What's your name?" "Dae-sung," he answered quickly. Then he added, "I'm a foreign student. I'm lost." It wasn't completely a lie. He was definitely foreign, and he was definitely lost. Hannah smiled. She moved slowly, her hands showing signs of years of hard work. She poured him a cup of hot tea and put a warm piece of bread on a plate. "Eat," she said. "You look tired." Dae-sung's scanning devices were working overtime, analyzing the room, checking her body temperature, measuring the exact chemical composition of the bread. But his actual brain was confused. This was not how a spy was supposed to act. This was not part of the mission. He was supposed to gather information, not eat bread in a small-town bakery with a kind old woman. But the bread was delicious. The tea was warm, and for the first time since arriving on Earth, Dae-sung felt something strange. He felt safe. Outside, the night grew darker. The town became quiet, and in a small bakery, an alien spy sat drinking tea with an old woman who had no idea how much she had just changed everything. The next morning, Dae-sung woke up in a small room behind the bakery. Hannah had given him a place to stay. His alien body needed less sleep than humans, but he had pretended to rest like a normal person. "Come help me," Hannah called from the kitchen. Dae-sung's advanced brain processed information differently from human brains. Where humans saw a messy process, he saw perfect mathematical equations, measurements, chemical reactions, precise timing. Hannah showed him how to mix flour, how to knead dough. Her hands were old but strong. She moved slowly but with purpose. Each movement told a story of years of practice. "My grandmother taught me," Hannah said, "and now I will teach you." Dae-sung's scanning technology could break down every single ingredient. He knew the exact molecular structure of flour, the precise chemical composition of yeast. But watching Hannah, he realized there was more to cooking than just numbers. His first attempt at bread was terrible. The dough was hard. The shape was wrong. It looked nothing like the perfect loaves in the bakery display. Hannah laughed. Not a mean laugh. A kind laugh that made Dae-sung feel weird inside. Humans had strange emotional responses that his training never fully explained. "Try again," she said. And he did. His alien brain was different from human brains. Where humans got tired, he could focus perfectly. Where humans made mistakes, he could calculate precise movements. By the third attempt, his bread looked almost perfect. The bakery was struggling. Dae-sung's scanning devices showed him the financial records, old equipment, low customer numbers, the business that was losing money every month. But Hannah never complained. She worked hard every single day, opening early, cleaning, baking, waiting on customers. Dae-sung started helping more. His precise movements made work faster. His ability to remember exact recipes was better than any human could manage. He learned family recipes passed down through generations. Apple pie from Hannah's grandmother, bread recipe from her mother, cookies that her husband loved before he passed away. Each recipe was more than just food. It was a story, a memory. His mission to gather information about humans was changing. He was no longer just a spy. He was becoming something else. A baker, a grandson, a human. Well, almost human. Outside the bakery, the small town continued its quiet life. Nobody knew that an alien was learning to bake bread, one perfect loaf at a time. Weeks passed. Dae-sung learned more than just baking. The bakery was more than a business. It was the heart of the town. People came not just for bread but for stories, for connection, for community. Old men would sit and drink coffee. They talked about farm work, about weather, about memories. Dae-sung listened carefully. His alien brain recorded every single detail. Mrs. Rodriguez would come every Tuesday for her special rye bread. Mr. Thompson would buy cookies for his grandchildren. The local school teacher always wanted extra muffins for her students. Hannah knew everyone's story. She remembered details about their lives. A sick grandmother, a new baby, a lost job. Dae-sung watched and learned. His mission was forgotten. These were not weak humans. These were complex beings with deep emotions and strong connections. One Saturday, the town had a community fair. Hannah's bakery had a special booth. Dae-sung helped her prepare. He learned how to decorate cookies, how to arrange bread displays, how to smile and talk to customers. His alien technology could perfectly control his facial muscles. But now, for the first time, he wasn't just mimicking. He was feeling. Children loved the cookies he decorated. Old people appreciated his careful bread cutting. The town saw him as Hannah's helper, her almost grandson. Dae-sung discovered human emotions were not simple. They were not weak. They were powerful and complex. Love was not just a word. It was a feeling that connected people, showed in small actions, a warm smile, an extra cookie for a sad child, a kind word for a tired farmer. His communication device remained silent. The Krull Confederacy had not contacted him for weeks, and he was not worried. The bakery became his home. Hannah became his family. The town became his world. He was changing, no longer just an observer, now a participant. Outside, the cornfields waved in the wind. Inside the bakery, an alien was learning what it meant to be human. One bread slice at a time. The communication device buzzed. Loud, angry. Dae-sung knew the sound. The Krull Confederacy was calling. He had avoided their messages for too long. He stepped outside the bakery. Night was falling. Cornfields stretched dark and quiet. Perfect place for a private conversation. Report, a cold voice demanded. Dae-sung's translator worked perfectly, but his words came slow, careful. Humans are not what we thought, he said. The voice on the other end grew sharp. Explain. He told them about the bakery, about Hannah, about the town, about community, about emotions he was learning, about connections he was discovering. Silence followed. Then another voice spoke, harder, colder. You are compromised. Return immediately for debriefing. Dae-sung looked back at the bakery. Warm light glowed from its windows. Hannah would be inside, preparing bread for tomorrow. The town would need breakfast. No, he said. It was the first time he had ever refused an order. The communication device went silent. Then it started blinking. Red. Angry. Warning. Extraction team incoming. Dae-sung knew what that meant. The Krull Confederacy did not accept failure. They would come to retrieve him, by force if needed. He walked back inside. Hannah was kneading dough. Her hands moved slowly, carefully, each movement perfect. We might have trouble, he said. Hannah looked up, smiled. We will handle it together. Dae-sung realized something important. Humans were not weak. They were strong in ways his people could never understand. The night grew darker. Something was coming. The first ship landed in the cornfield at midnight. No one in town heard it. No one saw it. Dae-sung's advanced technology made sure of that. 3 Krull agents stepped out. They looked human on the outside. But Dae-sung knew better. Their eyes were different. Too sharp. Too cold. Target acquired, the leader said. Dae-sung stood in front of the bakery, waiting. His body could transform, change, become something more than human. But he didn't want to. The agents approached. Slow, careful. You have failed your mission. The lead agent said, "You will return." Behind Dae-sung, the bakery windows glowed. Hana was inside, sleeping, dreaming about bread she would bake tomorrow. "No," Dae-sung said. The agents activated their weapons. Energy weapons. Invisible, deadly, capable of destroying an entire city block in seconds. But Dae-sung had learned something from humans, something his people never understood. Protection, love, family. His body changed, not into a weapon, but into a shield. Advanced alien technology mixed with human emotions. Something new, something powerful. The first energy blast hit him. Stopped. The agents looked surprised. Dae-sung stood between them and the town, between them and Hana. "You will not touch my family," he said. The cornfield around them began to move, not from wind, from something else. The town was waking up, and it was ready to protect one of its own. The cornfield became a battlefield, but not with weapons. Dae-sung did something unexpected. He invited the Krell agents inside the bakery. "Let's talk," he said. Hana woke up, saw strange people, didn't panic, just started making coffee. "Sit," she told everyone. The Krell agents looked confused. This was not how confrontations worked in their world. Dae-sung began to tell stories about the town, about humans, about Hana. He talked about Mrs. Rodriguez, who brought soup to sick neighbors, about Mr. Thompson, who helped young farmers, about the school teacher who bought extra food for hungry students. "These are not weak beings," Dae-sung explained. "These are strong communities." Hana brought fresh bread, still warm. The smell filled the room. The lead Krell agent took a bite. Something changed in his eyes. Flavors, memories, emotions. "My grandmother used to bake," the agent said softly. Dae-sung knew he was winning, not with weapons, but with understanding. Outside, the town slept. Inside the bakery, an alien was teaching other aliens about humanity, one slice of bread at a time. Weeks after the Krell team left, something changed. Dae-sung was no longer just helping in the bakery. He was becoming part of something bigger. The bakery grew. More customers came. Dae-sung's perfect recipes, Hana's warm welcome. They made magic together. He learned more than baking. He learned about human life, about family, about belonging. The town accepted him. Nobody asked where he came from. They saw how he worked, how he cared. His alien technology helped in small ways. Ovens worked better. Bread rose perfectly. Ingredients stayed fresh longer. But he was careful. Never too much technology, just enough to help. Hana watched him grow, smiled, treated him like a real grandson. "You are home," she would say. Home, a word Dae-sung never understood before. His communication device remained silent. The Krell Confederacy had given up, or changed their plans. He sent fake reports sometimes, showing humans as weak, protecting his new family. The bakery became more than a business. It became a community center. People came to talk, to share, to be together. Dae-sung realized something important. Humans were not just survivors. They were creators, builders, full of hope. Outside, the cornfields grew. Inside, an alien became more human every day. Years passed. Hana grew older. Dae-sung remained the same. His alien body did not age like human bodies. The bakery became famous. People came from far away. "Best bread in the state," they said. When Hana died, the whole town came to her funeral. Dae-sung stood there, not crying like humans, but feeling deep sadness. He continued her work, her recipes, her spirit. The bakery was more than a business now. It was a memory, a connection. Dae-sung protected the town, quietly, secretly. His alien technology worked in small ways, stopping small problems before they grew big. No one knew he was different. No one needed to know. He was a baker now, a protector, a human. Well, almost human. Sometimes, on quiet nights, he would look at the stars, remember where he came from, but never wanting to go back. His real home was here, with memories of Hana, with the town, with the bread he baked every single morning. The cornfields continued to grow, the bakery continued to serve, and Dae-sung continued to remember.